It started on a dusty roadside, just past a forgotten town where dreams felt more like burdens than blessings. Maxwell Grant, a sharp-suited millionaire with a history of fast deals and faster cars, had taken his vintage 1969 Mustang out for a rare solo drive. It was supposed to be his escape, one day off from corporate takeovers and luxury towers. But just miles into the countryside, his car sputtered, coughed, and died. No signal. No driver's assist. Just silence and an old road with no one in sight. Frustrated, Max stepped out, slammed the hood, and cursed the engine. Figures, he muttered. He hadn't touched a wrench in 20 years. That's when he heard it, light footsteps, gravel crunching, and a small voice behind him. "You're flooding the engine." He turned, expecting to see a mechanic or maybe a nosy farmer. But it was a girl, no older than 11, barefoot, her jeans patched at the knees, and grease on her hands. Her curly brown hair was tied back with a shoelace, and she looked like she belonged in a different world than his. Max raised an eyebrow. "Excuse me? You keep trying to turn it over. You're flooding it. I can fix it, if you want." He blinked. "You?" She nodded confidently and pointed to her house across the field, a small, worn trailer next to a crumbling barn. "I fix tractors. My uncle used to teach me. And Mustangs are easy." He laughed, a little amused, a little incredulous. But with no options and no help in sight, he opened the hood and stepped back. "Knock yourself out, kid." The girl climbed onto a crate, reached into the engine with small, steady hands, and within 5 minutes had the Mustang purring like a beast. Max stood stunned, arms crossed, watching a child do what seasoned mechanics often couldn't. "What's your name?" "Ellie." "You do this often?" She shrugged. "When something's broken, I like fixing it. That's what my uncle used to say. Doesn't matter what it is, people, cars, hearts. Everything's fixable if you take your time." Max offered her $100 bill. She hesitated, then shook her head. "We don't take money for kindness here." He blinked. No one said things like that to him. Ever. Instead, she pulled out a tin box from her bag and handed him a little leather keychain, clearly handmade. "My uncle and I used to make these. You can have it." He accepted it, stunned into silence. Driving back to the city, the car running smoother than ever, Max couldn't shake the feeling in his chest. It wasn't just about the car. It was the look in Ellie's eyes. The strength behind her calmness. The kind of maturity pain teaches too early. Over the next few days, Max couldn't stop thinking about her. So, he returned. And not just once. Ellie lived with her grandmother, a sweet, wrinkled woman who worked nights cleaning at a truck stop. They had no running water some weeks. Ellie fixed things, read books under a single lamp, and dreamed of being an engineer. Her uncle, her only father figure, had passed away just 6 months earlier in a tractor accident. Since then, she hadn't had any adult who truly saw her. Max did. He began to visit every weekend, bringing books, tools, even car parts. He taught her more about engines, and she taught him about patience. He funded the trailer's repairs quietly. Helped pay for her school supplies. Not once did he mention money or pity. Ellie hated both. One day, she showed him a notebook filled with sketches, complex engine diagrams, solar-powered vehicles, and a hand-drawn blueprint titled, "Future Garage, for Kids Like Me." Max stared at it, speechless. It wasn't just brilliance. It was purpose. That night, he made a decision. 6 months later, Max returned, not with his Mustang, but with cameras, investors, and local press. On a once-empty field near Ellie's home now stood a pristine building. The Ellie Grant Mechanics School, a fully equipped tech and trade center for underprivileged youth. Free education, mentorships, scholarships. Ellie stood on the stage beside him, eyes wide with disbelief. "This," Max said into the mic, "wasn't my idea. This was hers. She reminded me what it means to fix things. Not for money. But for meaning." The crowd clapped. Ellie held the key to the building. A real key, one that opened doors for others, just like she did for him. In time, Ellie became a national story. Talk shows, scholarships, and partnerships followed. But she never left her small town. She just kept building, fixing, mentoring. And Max? He stepped back from the spotlight. He sold his downtown penthouse, moved closer to the school, and took on a new title, volunteer groundskeeper. Because he didn't want to be a CEO anymore. He wanted to be what Ellie was to him, someone who saw potential, not status. And the Mustang? It stayed in the garage. Ellie refused to let him sell it. "It's where everything started," she'd say with a smile. Years later, when Ellie gave her TED Talk titled, "Fixing What's Broken," she held up that same leather keychain she once gave Max. "This," she said, "wasn't just a thank you. It was a promise. That one act of kindness, one moment of being seen, can change the world." The screen faded to black, and the story ended. But the movement of kindness? That was just beginning.